What if I told you that for over 30 years, the man in charge of the Queen's priceless art collection, a man who walked the halls of Buckingham Palace daily, was secretly a spy for the Soviet Union? This isn't a plot from a James Bond film. It's the astonishing true story of Anthony Blunt, the ultimate royal insider and a member of the infamous Cambridge 5 spy ring. Imagine this: a distinguished Cambridge-educated art historian, Sir Anthony Blunt, appointed as the surveyor of the Queen's pictures. He was responsible for one of the world's most magnificent art collections, a position that granted him unparalleled access. Not just to priceless masterpieces, but to the very heart of the British monarchy. He was trusted, respected, a knight of the realm, and all the while, he was feeding secrets to Moscow. This was more than just a betrayal. It was a gaping security breach at the highest level. Blunt wasn't some low-level clerk. He was part of the establishment. He had a direct line of sight into the royal family's world, their routines, their environment. Every conversation he overheard, every document he glimpsed, every detail about the layout and security of the royal palaces, it was all potential intelligence for a hostile foreign power during the iciest days of the Cold War. His story gets even more cinematic. At the end of World War II, Blunt was allegedly sent on a top-secret mission by King George VI himself. The objective? To travel to a German castle and retrieve highly sensitive letters written by the king's brother, the former King Edward VIII. These weren't just any letters. They contained correspondence between the Duke of Windsor and high-ranking Nazi officials, including potentially sympathetic exchanges with Adolf Hitler. The official story is that Blunt successfully retrieved the documents to protect the monarchy from immense scandal. But here's the chilling question that historians have debated for decades. Did he hand everything over? Or, as a loyal KGB agent, did he first make copies of this explosive, politically damaging material? The thought that the Kremlin might have held this kind of blackmail-worthy information over the British crown is staggering. 4 years, Blunt's treachery remained hidden. He confessed secretly in 1964 in exchange for immunity from prosecution, and the British public would unlearn the full truth until Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher exposed him in Parliament in 1979. The Queen stripped him of his knighthood, and the man who had lived a double life in the shadow of the throne died in disgrace. Blunt's espionage revealed a shocking vulnerability to a traditional, state-sponsored threat. But fast forward a few decades, and the monarchy would face a new kind of exposure. One born not in the shadowy world of spies, but from the everyday technology that was beginning to surround us all. The year is 1989. Prince Charles, the heir to the throne, is on the phone with his longtime mistress, Camilla Parker Bowles. They believe they're having a private, intimate conversation. They have no idea their words are being plucked from the airwaves. An amateur radio enthusiast, just scanning frequencies for fun, stumbles upon the call. He hits record. What he captures will become one of the biggest royal scandals of the 20th century. The tape, which wouldn't be published by the press until 1993, became infamously known as The conversation was deeply personal, awkward, and frankly, embarrassing. It included the now notorious line where Prince Charles joked about wanting to be reincarnated as Camilla's tampon. For the public, this wasn't just gossip. It was irrefutable proof of the long-rumored affair between the Prince of Wales and Camilla, happening while he was still married to the beloved Princess Diana. The fallout was catastrophic. The image of the fairy tale prince, the future king, was shattered. He was seen as deceitful and even ridiculous. The press had a field day. Camilla, who, until then, had been a relatively private figure, was thrust into a brutal public spotlight. She was vilified, branded the most hated woman in Britain, and blamed for the breakdown of Charles and Diana's marriage. The scandal played a massive role in the couple's eventual separation and divorce, and it fundamentally altered the public's perception of the heir to the throne. Think about the contrast here. Anthony Blunt's betrayal was a calculated act of political espionage, a mole hidden within the system for decades. The Camillagate scandal, on the other hand, was almost accidental, a product of modern technology meeting a moment of profound personal indiscretion. Yet both events struck at the very core of the monarchy's mystique. They proved that the walls of the palace, whether physical or metaphorical, were far from impenetrable. One threat came from a trusted insider with an ideological agenda. The other came from an anonymous outsider with a radio scanner. Together, they paint a fascinating picture of the monarchy's enduring vulnerability. In the 20th century, the crown had to worry about KGB spies in its corridors. In the 21st century, the threat is everywhere, in the form of a hacked phone, a long-lens camera, a leaked email, or a stray comment caught on a hot mic. These incidents forced the royal family to adapt. Security protocols were reevaluated, not just for physical threats, but for information security. The way they managed their public image had to evolve, moving from a position of detached authority to one of careful, constant public relations management. They learned the hard way that in a world of 24/7 news and ubiquitous technology, privacy is a luxury that even a monarch can no longer afford. The palace walls, it turned out, were made of glass. From the Cold War spy in the Queen's gallery to the illicit phone call broadcast to the world, these stories remind us that behind the pomp and pageantry, the royal family is a human institution, susceptible to betrayal, scandal, and the relentless march of technology. And that, perhaps, is the most revealing secret of all. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into hidden history. Let me know in the comments what you think is Blunt's betrayal or the Camillagate leak more damaging to the monarchy. See you in the next video.